Okay, we are live. Welcome everybody to episode 49 of FMA Discussion. Tonight we are featuring part two of Guro Tom Pena. Well, sorry about that. We're finally getting this going after the two episodes before that with the audio issue. And come to find out, it was in fact B Live's issue, and so they corrected it. So hopefully it's not an issue anymore. Yeah. So, but so what I'm just checking to see who's okay. Is the interview on? Yes, Patrick. Hopefully he'll just go to my wall. Okay. But so how are you?
I'm doing well.
Yeah.
It's actually our first week back at work.
Oh,
The
okay.
leisure center I'm working for has already reopened.
Okay.
Yeah. So how about you?
Yeah, no complaints. I mean, we're still kind of on the lockdown, and all that. There's definitely, depending on the state you live in, there's different restrictions and all that. But our state, even despite us being next to New York, is actually, we declined and all that. So hopefully that continues, and all that. But some states are like some of the southern states are really, really bad, like Texas and Florida. Yeah, those are two like big ones. California, I think.
Oh yeah, I saw it in the news.
Yeah, I actually think they re-shut down. I think. Yeah. So I know a lot of schools kind of.
Even here we have a few.
Okay.
Frozen. Okay.
Better now? Seems better now.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's much better now. Earlier on, it was frozen.
Hopefully we can get through. But let's go. So so for the folks who are joining in and all that, obviously we were about to do part two, which we're going to cover no live blade and surviving a knife attack when we ran into those audio issues on B Live's end. So I figured that's what we're going to kind of jump into. So then what I guess let's just then we're going to get your demo done before it gets too late over there, because I know you're obviously like 6 hours ahead. So before we do that, then what was the I guess, why did you choose? I mean, I guess first off, like, what exactly are those programs, systems per se? And the second part of the question is, why did you choose them?
Sorry, I didn't get you. It went slightly off.
Okay.
What was the first question?
Yeah, so the first question is, what are the systems, each one, and why did you choose them?
Oh, okay. The first one, is called the no lie blade system.
Okay.
It is actually a system and a founded by Hank Hayes from West Virginia. So he teaches LEO and military. So this is the street version of the no lie blade. Notice it's a bit shorter than the dagger one. Okay, so it's he is also a practitioner of, or used to practice FMA as well, circa during the times of Paul Vunak when he was younger. But he came into a point wherein there is a tool in the market that will actually give you a good feedback when you get hit. So it's almost like or paintball. So when you get hit by paintball, you immediately see the mark.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No
In
argument
the
there.
martial arts or even in self-defense, you can basically shrug the fact that you got hit.
Mm.
Nobody will admit to it. Okay. And plus that, where did you get slashed? How did you get hit? Those are the important questions. Basically, when you basically practice self defense or basically any knife defense. Okay, it is important that you get that feedback. Okay, because otherwise you can shrug it off. Okay,
Mm.
and sometimes even in a friendly training or friendly drill, nobody would admit to it that I got cut. But at
Yeah.
least with this one, with this marking tools, you can immediately see who got cut first and where, which is basically very important because as we know, if you get cut in some parts of the body or the arm, it basically poses a great threat as compared
Yeah.
to being cut in other parts of the body. Like, for example, if you get cut in the inside part because of the arteries and the veins,
Mm.
it's you got more threat rather than being cut from outside. Okay, so all those things, the tool gives you a good feedback, an immediate feedback. Plus the one, and if you notice, the lipstick um, on the end or on the sides, you basically have that metal. So you still have that kind of
Okay.
realism. Okay, you see that kind of like metal coming towards you. Okay, about to hit you. So it's as compared to like training with a plastic. It's kind of different. It's a plastic.
Yeah, yeah. Or
Okay,
like a
because this
rubber
is a
knife.
metal. If it hits you, it can still be like an impact weapon.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, a rubber knife. When it hits you, it bends.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
there is still that psychological aspect. So besides NLB or no live blade as a marking tool, Hank also introduced a system. But because in the States, he was mostly giving seminars, workshops, or courses to law enforcement officers and military. So the approach is slightly different. And plus, of course, the difference the uh, when it comes to the law. Okay, so
Okay.
there's a slight difference. Um, um, we initially we were only looking at the tool when we talking of it offering self-defense through. So that was me, myself, Grandmaster Anton, and my friend Chris. So because we wanted to teach self-defense using um, FMA as a vehicle, but we were looking at marking tools or training tools that we can use. And also during that time, we were already thinking, okay, when we do self-defense, we have to avoid doing the complex drills and
Mm.
complex defense that FMA teaches. Okay, because the idea is when you teach defense, you're basically offering to people who don't regularly shoot a. Okay, sometimes they don't have the time. Okay, so
Okay.
you want to offer a skill set that they'll be able to get at the shortest period of time.
Mm.
Okay, so we were already working certain things. Okay, so which of the martial arts skill sets, Filipino martial arts skill sets, can we actually use to be able to teach this? We from instead of teaching angle one, angle two, angle three to no matter how many angles, we identified that we could do away with only 5 angles. 5 angles. Okay, so you have the high one on the left, high one on the right, low one on the left. 5 common angles that basically you're going to be encountering in a self-defense situations.
Okay.
Okay, which is going to be simpler rather than trying to memorize. Okay, this is what you need to do when you get hit by this slash, by this stab from this angle. So it makes it easier. Then when Grandmaster Anton started talking to Hank Hayes about the tool, he found out that Hank already has an existing system which is similar to what we were um, trying to do in the Edge Weapon Awareness Program. So what he did was he invited Hank over here to the UK in Plymouth um, to run an instructor's course.
Oh, okay.
So Grandmaster Anton told me that, yeah, get into this course, okay, at least to start the ball rolling of what we want to do. Okay, so which I did. So we were in Plymouth for 4 days, weekends, and we were like training from 9 o'clock till about 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Wow, long
Okay,
days.
consistent evolutions, and we were composed. Yeah, and we were composed of like different instructors. A lot of them are from the Royal Marines, so a lot of them already teaches a lot of them already teach like Krav Maga. Okay, a few of us are Filipino martial artists, instructors, and a few like Muay Thai and other self-defense group. So we went through evolution. Basically, Hank put us through through phases wherein he made us realize that, okay, once your adrenaline starts kicking in, okay, a lot of the fine motor skills
Yeah.
will be out of the window. Okay,
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
get through when you get put through a stress test, a lot of it is
Mm. Yeah, the frontal cortex, it just gets overloaded, you know. Uh-oh. Oh no. Don't even tell me. Not again. Oh man. This is not good. Not sure, folks. It's definitely not audio. I think he's just got some internet stuff going on. Yeah, come back, absolutely. Never a dull moment, huh? Hey, man. Oh, let's see.
hello,
Hey
sorry.
there. Oh no. I mean,
So
it's not your
where
fault.
was I? So yeah, we were put through our phases then.
Yeah.
Then when during the training, we had to do stand up, ground evolutions, striking evolutions, um, locks, throws, and um, because we were up against different like body builds,
Mm.
heights, strength,
And styles
you get
too, right?
styles too. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But so I managed to see basically what my weaknesses are,
Mm.
and I try to basically play it on my strength, which is a lot of it is based on like footwork, because of my Aikido background,
Mm.
and basically I already have some knowledge in throws or locks. But again, because at one point your opponent aren't compliant, it's like, okay, some of the locks, some of the complicated transitions out of the
Yeah.
window.
It's tough, especially with the bigger guys who have like
Exactly.
natural strong
Yeah.
levers and just
Yeah.
until you get in there and do it full on and all that. I mean, you find out very quickly
Yeah.
what comes out and all that. But one thing I
Yeah.
wanted to back up on, and I think you made an excellent point, and and some people notice. I mean, I'm sure the majority notice is that the stress test, like like I am under the firm belief that you have to have incorporate stress in your training, because how are you going to deal with it out there in the real world if it's not even your training setting? You know what I mean? Where you're
Exactly.
just going to turn it on, like you know what I mean? And
Exactly.
like you mentioned, with the fine motor skills under under extreme stress, the frontal lobe just it kind of just goes
Yeah.
out the window, which you kind of mentioned, and so where
Yeah.
the gross movements are going to come out,
Yeah. Especially you've got your adrenaline kicking in. You've got
Mm,
your heart rate high up.
yeah,
Your
anxiety.
vision is starting to narrow down. To
Yeah,
basically you're starting to get like tunnel visions, and then you're basically profusing. Your hands are sweaty or
yeah,
basically draped in maybe water or blood or
yeah,
there are a lot of things that you have to consider, and it is really important that you put yourself into under stress test, and especially with self-defense. Okay,
yeah.
you have to consider this. Two common things that you'll be in is either you've got an attacker who is rushing towards you.
Mm,
Okay, maybe coming from a confrontation, you are already up close, so he's rushing towards you. The second one is an ambush.
yeah,
You are basically already in ground zero.
yeah. I know.
Okay,
They just jump out. Ugh.
exactly. So you need to be able. Once you are like, for example, it's an ambush type of a situation. The level of violence has just basically escalated.
Mm,
Okay, and you don't have the space to be able to produce a gap. Sometimes you don't have the less the avenue to be able to create what you normally do in a
yeah,
particular in a drill. So it is really important that you put yourself under pressure testing
yeah.
in different ways. So like we were like pressure testing like on the ground that time, you already have an attacker doing a side control or a full mount control.
Mm.
So, and then produce the blade. So, what are
Those
you
are
going
the
to do?
worst, especially
Exactly.
side control and mount.
It's a nightmare.
Like there are answers if you're in a person's guard or you have them in your guard. When I say answers, by no means I want to get this misconstrued for being easy. But side control and mount, if you're on the bottom and they have the knife, oh, that is just man.
Yeah, just the fact that if they know how to put their body weight
I know they
uh,
control you with
on you,
yeah.
breathing is already hard. Breathing is
No,
already hard.
and
How
then
much more if everything is already like flying here and there? So
oh, it's
you have
miserable.
to put yourself through all those.
It's absolutely miserable. Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely miserable if you're on the bottom in those positions. It's almost, I tell you, like anything else, there's certain things that get to a point of no return. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
true,
it just gets to where, yeah, I know. Oh, I know. Oh,
true.
God,
That's why I do remember my cousins telling me because I grew up in Tondo, and it's one of the
I
rough
hear about
places
that place. I
in the
keep hearing,
Philippines.
man, that place is
Yeah.
just, man.
Oh yeah. Growing up, I've witnessed like gangs
Uh,
just fighting,
mm,
people being stabbed, people dying, blood on the street and everything. I wish that, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to improve my skill set as far as
mm,
defending against a knife
yeah.
attack. Okay. And although I love basically the all the knife work in FMA, it's one of the sexiest part of FMA,
Mm.
but you still have to have some degree of reality check. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. And the other thing too is, the moment you're going against bigger people, which you've alluded to, I tell you, and it's just Yeah,
It's different. It's different.
It's just
It's
miserable.
different.
It's just miserable.
Yeah, yeah. So from there,
Hmm.
after the course, the instructor's course, which I passed, um, we started offering the no live blade edge weapon awareness program here in the UK.
Okay.
Okay. The only thing is, as I said earlier on, because when in the States, Hank normally deals with LEO and military. So
Oh,
their combatives, okay, their whole mind frame when it comes to the combative side is basically goes with their profession.
okay.
Okay, so I mean, military. If you get into a knife fight, especially if you are in a mission or in an operation, you have the license basically to take out your opponent.
Yeah, yeah. It's not like you have to like think like, well, gee,
Yeah,
if
exactly.
I go
Unless
beyond,
basic, unless basically you want the person as a prisoner to be
a
interrogated.
prisoner for interrogation or something. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Okay. Now, of course, LEO is another thing. They can use a certain degree of force to be able to do their job. But
Mm,
as a civilian, it is different.
yeah.
Okay. So the mindset is different because as a civilian, I mean, especially here in the UK, okay,
I
we
know.
can't use guns.
I know. You
We
guys.
can't
I know. They wanted to take your knives away, didn't they?
exactly. So we can't use knife. So
God.
you have to you really have to rely on your hands, your legs, your head, and
Mm,
all the other weapons of opportunity. So it's different. So we have to slightly modify what we learned from no live blade from Hanks
mm.
to basically to suit basically our needs here in the UK. So even the legal aspect, which is basically the proportional use of law, force, basically, is slightly different from over there because there, in especially in certain states, there you're allowed to carry weapons. Here
Yeah,
we're
yeah, we can. Yeah, so yeah, like we're like from my state, for instance, you can carry. I believe the length is up to 4 inches. I think if it's double edge, I think then you have
yep,
an issue. But but far as like you were mentioning, far as the escalation and what you're allowed and how much damage you can inflict and things along
yeah,
that nature. Um, I tell you, if you like, for instance, just to give you like an example, like if somebody at a gas station was being aggressive and all that, and they pulled, if the court construed that I went beyond, what I should have, as far as like, damage, what damage I inflict and all that, I could actually be, even though the individual might started and all
yeah.
that and tried attempted to mug me, what have you. But if I went beyond what was necessary, I could be, yeah, I know, I tell you, you're right. You got to know, it's crazy,
You have to know.
you
I
know?
mean, each and every wherever you go, they have certain
Mm,
certain laws basically that you have to follow. So that's
yeah.
why,
Texas,
yeah.
they can get away with anything in Texas. They can, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can actually open carry someone katanas in Texas. So
Yeah,
I think I want
yeah,
to move there
yeah.
one time. So yeah, but that is basically what happened. So from
Mm,
from the no live blade UK, we basically evolved into the surviving a knife attack.
okay.
Okay, so in this particular program, so we have the edge weapon awareness program. We teach situational awareness, which is basically very which is we which is very important. Um, we also teach the UK law on use of force.
Okay.
Um, and also we added the management of catastrophic bleeding, or I think in the states that is what you call a stop the bleed. program.
Oh, that's good. Oh, yeah. So give people some hands-on stuff like that. God forbid.
So we teach basically how to use commercially produced tourniquets, modified tourniquets, direct pressures, how to use packing, all those sorts. And then in the program, during the pressure test, sometimes we do give scenarios. So sometimes we start off with the participant doing the defending himself first, and then we basically say, we add on, okay, you've got your friend or you've got your loved one who got injured. Okay, so maybe got cut by a knife or injured from something else.
Yeah.
And the participant needs to administer the appropriate management to stop the bleeding. Okay. Or the other way around. We start off with the scenario with the person responding to somebody on the floor, and then he got attacked, because there was a situation in one of the terror attacks here in London, wherein one of the civilian or the bystander who attended to one of the victims, while the civilian was helping the victim, he also got attacked by the terrorist.
Oh,
so we put in all
trying to be a good Samaritan.
Yeah. So and then with the scenarios, we basically go through like being mugged inside in the ATM machine or somewhere else, or in an alley. So we basically vary all those things.
Okay. No, it sounds like it's pretty complete. I mean, you guys are covering the law. You're covering, God forbid, to help somebody with bleeding, what have you, wounds, and wow.
Yeah, and also we basically have this kind of scenario. So you defended yourself from somebody who was basically attacking you with a weapon or with a knife attack, or with a knife or a broken bottle or something. And then during the altercation, your attacker basically got injured.
Oh.
So are you going to help the person or not?
To me, do I have my family there?
Those are the issues that is going to be considered, of course.
Yeah, right. Yeah. All those variables. Yeah.
All those variables.
Yeah, that's a tough scenario, huh?
It is a tough scenario.
Like, I never thought, gee, would I help the person who just tried to kill me?
Exactly.
Or tried to rob me.
Exactly.
Yes. Oof, that's a good one.
Yeah. So we put them also those, and of course, in connection with situational awareness, teach them basically the difference between a social and asocial violence. What's the difference between the two? So, and how do predators basically try to determine
who their
prey is going to be?
Okay.
Their potential victim. We also basically teach proximity.
Yeah,
as
distance
well.
management.
So how does proximity gap plays a very important part in self-defense. And of course, the of trying to avoid being in that situation.
Yeah.
Trying to avoid the build-up to become a victim. Yeah. So if you can, the idea is if you can avoid it, avoid it.
Oh my God. Yeah, 100%. I don't think there'd be anybody that would never give that advice, Yeah. I mean, absolutely.
Yeah. So
So then, okay, I'm just going to finally get to thank some people here. Do you want to jump in? Because I know I know your son, to get him for the demo.
Yeah.
And then after that, we can read. Then of course, I definitely got more questions, of course. Just so we're not keeping him up, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll be using the AccuStrike. So at least you'll be able to see.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember. Okay. Yep. Okay. Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Hey, Patrick. Thank you for doing that. Hey, Jack. Thank you. Paul. Patrick, Jesse, Julius. Hey, guys.
Hi guys.
Yeah. All right. Demo time. Okay.
So the first demo that we're going to do is the sewing machine.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm going to ask basically my son to start doing some parings. Okay.
Oh, just
Against
to
the sewing
see.
machine.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're basically just gonna build it up. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you notice, I'm managing to go in, even though he's parrying.
Correct.
Okay, so sometimes when you parry, basically to do some of the FMA moves of doing this motion, it's actually good if it's a drill, but you have to make sure that you still pressure test it. You should be able to do it, okay, when your attack is basically getting into that sewing machine action.
Yeah.
Okay, so unless you condition it, unless you drill it really well, then especially when you have a lot of things happening on the street, there's a big chance it's gonna fail. Okay, so let's go now into the 2-on-1. Okay.
All right. Okay.
But there's difference in the response. So 1-on-1, he's going to stay defensive still. Okay. So if you notice, back versus strike. Okay, and even if he tries to extend his arm here, okay, I can still navigate my knife.
Yeah.
Okay, towards his body. So in NLB or SACA, okay, when we get into this particular action, we have to make sure that after I'll let them show you first.
Yeah.
Okay. After the initial crashing, if you notice, when he moves in, when he does the 2-on-1, he actually moves in as well. So what is this? From my chambering motion towards the point of impact, he basically stopped my arm, my hand from accelerating. And then from there, he controls it. See, this hand is basically right.
Oh, so you guys pin on the hip.
I can't move it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I can't move it. Okay, and even if I try to reach it out with
I
my left
know,
hand,
right. Yeah.
he can basically feel movement.
Fantastic.
My arm is basically locked against his body as well. Okay, then from here, he can deliver his combatives. Headbutt, knee to the groin, okay? And then takedown, so okay? So that's example 1.
Okay.
Now, in that particular example, he stayed inside my center line.
Right.
Okay.
Controlling your arm. Okay.
Yep. So that could be because he can't go anywhere outside on my side. But if he has the option, it's the safest one. Other side. Okay. Let's go like this.
So, Guro Tom, are you saying you prefer to get on the inside as opposed to the outside if the choice is there?
Well, if there's a choice, go on the outside. You've got better control. Okay. Because inside you still have some degree of could be counted.
Yeah, with the other hand. Right. Okay.
Yeah. Now, although in this position, even if I try to punch him, I don't have that.
The levers. Yeah.
Yeah. He's basically controlling part of my body.
Yeah.
Now, if he's basically outside, yes, he can basically like see.
Yeah. No.
See
No.
basically
Right.
my left hand. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So there. Basically have that concept of crashing in, controlling, and then you've got your combatives.
Gotcha.
Okay. So he can start doing his combatives. Now, even from here, he can use it as a platform to do some of a traditional FMA throws. So do the figure four. If he wants to for control.
Figure four. Okay.
Yeah. Rather than just simply trying to catch it, okay, and then do the figure four without doing the control.
Yeah.
So that is a preferable one, okay, because from here I can basically like counter it as well.
Yeah, you get your hand under his arm. Yeah.
Yeah. So at least coming from here, okay, he does his combatives, and then if coming the moment I feel this arm off me, I might basically react by pulling this in, and all he needs to do now is
just
go with
fold.
it.
Right. Okay. Right.
Yeah, flow with it.
Yep.
Okay. So that particular control is handy, even though I've got the clinch.
Yeah, you're right. Even if you got
which is basically one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go like this. Yeah, because normally when you get the clinch and I do sewing machine, okay, you don't have anywhere to go. I'm controlling your head basically. So by doing the same crash and control,
awesome.
Same action.
Yeah, right. Despite whether he's got it.
So even like this one, I'm pushing. Well, basically, when you want to push somebody, shove somebody towards the wall, and while doing this, is the same thing.
Same thing. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So that's one. Second one.
Yeah, ice pick.
Is this another common type of attack? Okay. Now sometimes this goes at an angle as well. Sometimes it goes straight up. Okay. So the same thing. If he's going to, weave his arm.
Yeah, right. If
I can get through immediately.
Attempts to parry. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. If he tries to like do a.
Yeah, it's just structurally not. Yeah.
Okay, but if he's basically in a defensive position, I can basically reverse it, or even coming from that position.
No, you can just clear.
I can just carry on. Yeah. Okay. Now, he's gonna do like now a crashing action. Okay. So see if you notice when he came in, this hand is basically like hitting my arm, and the other hand goes towards my face.
Okay.
So that way, I'm gonna do this slowly. Even if I'm moving forward with my head whiplashing backwards, I am already out of basically out of my of a good structure.
Yeah, right. Because you're.
And that already gives him the chance to be able to control, and go to the same thing.
Okay.
Right. So that is basically entering toward a center line. Okay. Or he can go outside, straight into control. So the idea, at least with all those common attacks, with those two platforms, basically, it's easy for you to get into it. Less things to memorize, less things to worry about, and you got more chance of successfully doing it. Okay, and at least with that one, even if my hand is like wet, even if his hand is also like sweaty, that is a good that is a safe thing to do.
Right.
Pinning it against your body.
Just food for thought on that overhead position like that. And again, something that I've been working with. Do you know Tony Blauer's spear?
Yeah.
And again, just play around with it, and just when you can, just give me your feedback. You know what I mean? But when that's coming over here, when you shoot, definitely what you're doing with the other arm. But when you put that spear in, it gives you like a driving force, and then slide down. Just curious, if you think of it, just let me know what you think. That's all.
Yeah.
But that was awesome. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank your son for us too.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. So that's basically the basic moves that skill sets that we teach in both in NLB and SATA.
That's great. What's awesome is that you guys are doing. Obviously you're putting resistance in there, and you're not.
Yes,
you're not like approaching like a flow drill. And just to back up a bit, not because like I've done a lot of. I was with the Seox and Atenzas and all that, and a lot of tapping. You know what I mean? Here, and you're bringing it down there. And if you get one tap and just to clear it, so you can get a zone out, if it does enable to draw your weapon, that's fantastic. But if you were just sit there and think you're gonna play that game against a sewing machine, man, it's gonna be tough. It's just gonna be hard,
the tapping action, or the that we use in FMA, that is part of our energy drill or the hubod system. One of the downside of this is at one point dependent on the range.
Yeah.
If the range is ready to close.
Yeah.
There's already a huge percentage that it's not gonna work.
Yeah, right.
Because we've tried that as well. Like especially if the person is rushing towards you, you might be able to clear it, but if you look, it has a lot of red marks. And even if you use the AccuStrike, it's basically gonna sound off.
No, believe me, like I know just from getting in there, and I know I know. You can't fully appreciate and give, in my opinion, like real sound advice and constructive opinion unless you've been in there with a helmet on, and you know what I mean. But yeah, I know it's miserable. It's absolutely miserable. Empty hand against knife. It's miserable. If you want to talk about a stress inoculator, I don't think you'll find in my opinion, a better one than that.
It's one of the reasons why pressure testing is really important especially when you teach self-defense, because the stress inoculation is part of it. If you're doing your drill in a very positive, in a very brotherly way, then the moment you need to experience your attacker being non-compliant, resisting.
No, not going to get an
resisting
argument
against your movement.
here. No,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're not going to get an argument here. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
yeah, I
And
know.
especially in FMA, one of the reasons why we practice uh, as much as we can knife work, even complex ones, is because we are basically trying to prepare for the eventuality that if our attacker also knows how to retain their weapon,
Yeah,
how to retain their knife.
yeah.
So it is really important that you put that under
No,
pressure.
no.
You try to test whatever you do. Always test it. Always
100%.
test it.
And another thing too is I don't think there's enough established context. And what I mean by that is, like for instance, what I tell my students is, I mean, you're doing this because, A, you just have no exit. You're in a corner. I mean, whatever, you got, whatever. Or because you got family members that you
Yeah,
have an
true.
ethical moral obligation to protect them.
Yeah,
But other than that,
true.
there should be no reason. You should do whatever you
Nah.
humanly can not to deal with that unless you
Yeah,
can't just get out or, again, like I mentioned, you have loved ones to
yeah.
protect. But other than that, like, why are you dealing with it? I mean, you should. I mean, as much as possible not to. But yeah, it's just ugly.
That's
Man, but that was excellent. I thank you for the demo. Ooh.
it is. Well, we
Oh, you're back.
um, we always say that avoid being in a situation as much as you can. Okay,
Right. Yeah.
run if you can, but of course, if you got
Mm.
loved ones, you won't be able to. You won't be
Right.
able to run.
Right. You got that moral ethical
Okay,
obligation. Yeah.
exactly. So, but the thing is, if you get yourself into a physical fight to defend yourself, it is not about winning.
Yeah. So they're going home.
It is exactly. And the most important thing is this: going home and not going to jail
Or hospital, more. Yeah.
or
I
hospital.
think Tom Sawyer
Exactly.
has 4. Morgue, home, hospital, jail. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I'm quoting that correct.
Yeah.
Credit to, yeah, okay.
So that's basically what we stress with in our
No, I
in
think
our courses. It's
I think
really
it's great
important.
advice. Great advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was well done and all that. Okay, so then just getting back to the questions. Now your son can go to bed or do whatever he wants now. Yeah, he's not on standby. Jeez. So we kind of covered this quite the reality of knife training. I mean, which was well presented by you. Thank you. Just and here, this is huge. Like just because you see this, people just not like not wanting to acknowledge results or pretending they're not there or just whatever it may be. The importance on acknowledging failures and being,
Okay.
you want to see results and turning them into gradual success, assuming your methodology is good. Again, just the importance of honesty and failures. You know what I mean? Like, and you kind of touched on it a little bit, but just important, especially with dealing with the knife.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Um, in self defense, or basically, or especially with a knife, it is important that you understand your own strength and weakness. Okay, I don't know if I'm basically answering correctly, but you have to understand your own strength and weakness. I I can. There are certain things that I'll be able to do. There are certain things that I won't be able to do, and it's going to be different for my students as well.
Mm.
Okay, when you pressure test what you know, what you understand, it makes it easier for you basically to find out where you're failing. It is easier for you to understand what you need to strengthen. Okay,
Mm.
it basically makes it easier for you to understand how your mindset, or how your emotions, your psychological your psychological state actually adapts to a situation. When I did the instructor's course, okay, I have to um, I had to put myself in a mindset wherein, okay, I'm here to learn. I'm
Yeah,
here
yeah,
to understand certain things. I'm here to adopt. I'm here to evolve. So if there are things that basically I know will not work,
yeah,
especially when it comes to night defense outside, I'm I'm gonna let it go. I
yeah.
need to be able to embrace something that I know will work. Okay, um, and like when I was still doing Aikido, eh, um, about like 30 years ago,
Mm.
25 years ago,
We're not that old.
I've managed to use it.
Yeah,
Um, but I'm not sure now if I'll be able to still do
yeah.
the
You get
same thing.
older, and yeah, yeah,
Get older, get slower. You get like health problems and everything,
sure.
and plus the fact that um, fine motor movements, okay, if you don't practice it, it diminish. Okay,
Yeah.
you have to be constantly practicing it. And like
Mm.
Aikido is good, but it's there's a lot of fine motor skills in it.
Yeah.
Okay, Eh, for me to be able to do what I do before, I'm
No,
not sure.
it's
Okay,
tough. It's tough.
so
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
No, no. I mean,
I have to accept certain things.
yeah. Um,
I have to
no, that was
accept
well
certain
answered.
things. There are things that I can't do anymore. So yeah.
Yeah. No, no, you answered. I mean, that was great. And the only thing, like and again, just to add on, like what I see, and again, not everybody. I don't like this to get misconstrued, and all that. But to me, it's letting your ego go. Like,
Yeah.
embrace failure, and like knowing, like, hey man, this sucks, but I'm gonna keep doing this. I see some light at the end of the tunnel. This stuff's starting to pan out. I'm gonna turn, like, but just letting go of the ego, like, and not holding on to things. Like what I see a lot of people do, and again, not everybody, but what I see, they hold on to their stuff, whether,
Hmm.
and some know it doesn't work, but
Hmm.
because it's handed down to them, they got the plaque on the wall, they're in a certain rank within the system, they just like, they just won't let it go. And so therefore they'll refute like what really works is out there for the sake of like doing stuff that, so maybe they're not going to look bad in a potential failing position. Like I
Hmm.
know people in this community, I mean, like I've seen it, and I don't say anything because I believe your
Yeah.
journey is your journey. If it makes you happy, but when it comes to knife, if you haven't fully tested stuff, I think
Oh,
I think you
that's
get into a moral and ethical issue when you're teaching it and you haven't fully tested out to see if it works. To me,
exactly.
sticks. You want to believe
Exactly.
whatever sticks, fine. But when it comes to knife, man,
Yeah, knife, especially knife defense, teaching knife defense. You need to be you need to be very responsible.
I agreed.
You've as a teacher, you have a moral responsibility to your student. Okay, one of the reasons why I always keep on learning other things is this: what I can do, I'm not sure that if my students will be able to do.
Yeah,
What they can do, I'm not sure that I'll be able to do. So sometimes I have to find a way to be able to make it work for them. And
yeah,
that's one of the reasons why I keep learning different stuff. So
no,
it doesn't always what works for me doesn't always mean that it's going to work for them. Okay,
Sure.
it's especially if they cannot devote the same amount of time that I do. Okay, so I need to give them options. Okay, and even if they say like, okay, well, why are you teaching me, for example, this if you know if basically you know that it might not work.
Right.
Okay, so I mean, my answer is this: you don't exactly know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm giving you options. Okay, if you know that after a few times of trying it, after putting yourself under stress, it doesn't work for you, then don't use it.
Yeah.
Work something that is gonna use something that you know you're going to be confident. Okay. One example, like for example, one example in Aikido, we do a lot of randori. Okay. And back then, when I was teaching in UP in the Philippines, when we do multiple attackers can be the attackers can actually choose what kind of weapon or how they're going to attack you. Okay. So and when you basically when they attack you, well, they if you don't move, you're gonna get hit.
Yeah.
Okay. How many techniques do most of my do we practice? There's a lot of them, but the moment you see them in the randori, they're only using 2 or 3.
Yeah, the ones they pulling off.
Exactly. If they can pull it off, use it. And you're going to see like different students have their three techniques that they're always using, regardless of the attack that is coming onto them. It's fine.
Right.
I mean, if you can vary, it's good. But if not, stick. You've got you've got the core arts in Aikido anyway. For it to work for you and for you to practice. So whatever works for you, use it.
Yeah, no, right. If it's going to get you home, 100%.
Yeah, the moral obligation of the teachers. You have to make your students realize that knife defense is not a walk in the park. It's not Hollywood.
No.
Okay, this is one of the things. This is one of the things that this is still pervading. Whenever we learn stuff like knife defense or weapon defense, some students, they're basically their reference point is basically Hollywood movies. Okay,
because what they've been exposed to or seen. Yeah.
Yeah. Now the problem is this: Hollywood movie is nothing. It's not the same as what is in the street.
Yeah.
Okay, what happens in the street? No. Nobody's gonna say cut. Nobody's gonna say take two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
So there is a difference, and also like when you start teaching somebody to carry a blade or to carry a weapon and to use it against another person, okay, you're also like treading on some ethical issues. I mean, it's of course everything is circumstantial. Everything is it all depends on the situation. It all depends on the it all depends on the situation. But you have to be careful. Like when you teach civilians, you can't. At one point, it's very hard if you're going to teach them through a military standpoint thinking when you use a weapon. Right. There is a line. Okay, when you teach military to use their blade against somebody else, no questions asked because they have to survive in the battle.
Right. They don't have to explain to anybody.
Civilians, however, not everybody is comfortable in maiming and using a weapon against. So there's going to be an issue with their core belief. As an instructor, you have to help them understand that.
No, that's excellent. Right.
Well.
You have their values. Like you have to take their value systems into play. I mean, like you know how they were raised. You know what they're going to do.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
what they're comfortable with. You know what.
Yeah.
No, that's well put. Right now, that often get thought of.
An example that I'm going to put in one of the discussion groups, okay, in Facebook, one girl said that after watching somebody got kidnapped, he started becoming paranoid. Okay, so she started asking what to do. Okay, or does she need to start buying a blade so that jumped in and said, yeah, if that's gonna make you feel comfortable, or it's like, really, without even asking the person to undergo some training. I mean,
just to get a blade.
Yeah, just to get a blade.
Yeah, without any.
So, yeah, I mean, the girl, the person is clearly paranoid.
Yeah, right.
Instead of addressing the issue properly, the instructor basically just jump into it. Okay, since you're paranoid,
maybe working on her confidence or whatever else. Hey, yeah, just go buy a machete and.
No, exactly. So I said that's not it. I mean, teachers situational awareness. Okay, I know paranoia is a reaction, is a common thing, but you have to go basically beyond. You have to get past that stage. Okay, you need to prepare. It's actually much better if you prepare yourself rather than just, okay, I'm going to the mall, buy a switchblade, put it under my bed, or carry it.
Yeah.
There's no set. I mean, it's especially when she gets attacked.
What is this? Not knowing how to use it or even how to deploy it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're gonna fumble.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Well, actually, that's funny because you kind of just covered.
Actually, end being being a casualty to the blade that she bought.
I'm sorry. Can you just repeat that? It was a little broken up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, instructors really have to need to have that understand that moral obligation. That when it comes to teaching, and they also need to understand that there are ethical issues as well as legal issues.
No, 100% agreed. Yeah. Which is good. We kind of flowed into that question, so that was good. This has been fantastic, and I got one last thing, and I mean, this has been going great. I just want to say, I mean, I thought your presentation was excellent. Your viewpoint,
thank you very much.
Really tie in the moral and ethical obligations of an instructor. The legality, all that covered. I mean, it sounds like your program just covers everything, which is fantastic. I mean, good on fantastic. Good on you. Okay. Improvements in the FMA community. What would you like to see?
Okay. Well, I would like to see practitioners not just utter the word respect to live it. Okay, I do believe that, yeah, we normally say pugay to everybody. Okay,
Yeah.
as a hi, as a hello, as goodbye.
Right, but not
Okay,
really. Yeah.
but the essence of it is something that I think a lot of practitioners miss. Okay,
Mm.
um, respect, we know is very important in martial arts, but what does it really entail? I think one of the things is that um, respect is something that um, you give to yourself by staying true.
Hmm.
Okay, by um, by not creating stories or lies just to be able to get students, or
Yeah.
just to be able to present yourself as somebody. Because the thing is, if you start with that,
Mm.
what kind of respect do you think you're basically going to get from
Especially if
your peers?
the stories come out and they're found out not to be true.
Okay. Yeah, especially that,
Mm.
especially now in the internet
Everything
age.
can be checked
Maybe
out.
before in the 70s, 60s, you'll be able to.
Yeah, I know. Like, you
Yeah.
got to be careful.
So
Everything, yeah.
if basically you are true to yourself, if you are true to what you can offer
Mm.
to your students, that's a good start. Honesty, okay? It's one of the pillars of having respect for yourself
Yeah,
and for others.
fantastic.
Um, if you basically in this day and age where basically you can always watch videos of other people and sometimes copy it, it's
Mm.
actually important that you give credit to the person or to the style, and not say that, okay, this is part of my system when it's not
That's
really.
a huge one for me. Huge, huge one. Anybody that knows me knows that's a huge one to me. Because you
Yeah,
never know how hard they might have worked on that idea, that
exactly,
concept, that technique,
exactly,
that tactic. And then you're
exactly.
going to go over there like a blankety blank and put your
Mm,
name on it. Oh, I can't stand that.
yeah.
Man, that's a good one. Yeah. Ugh. Uh-oh. Did we lose you? Oh, man. It's about to wrap up. Hope not. Yes, Brian. Yeah, less flash and more practicality. Ah. All right, I'm going to let him come back in. We're almost done. Gosh. Let me just see if he's still online. And is he? Ah, let me give him a few more minutes to come back on. In the meantime, what can I talk about? Oh, here it is.
Hello, I'm
Uh,
back.
yeah. No worries. Hey, we're almost done.
Okay, so
Um,
we in FMA we're fond of like borrowing technology.
yeah.
Okay, a lot of things are filtered through through FMA, like for example the karambits, okay, and other stuff. Okay, it is very important that we acknowledge basically where these technologies come from.
100%.
Okay, we basically because we have this kind we have this uh, thinking, one mind, uh, that is your weapon. Basically, everything else, okay, is an extension. So, from especially in the current days, we have basically uh, borrow technologies from other arts.
Yeah.
We have to acknowledge where it came from.
Yeah.
We have to stop creating history. Okay.
Yeah, already here. I mean, yeah, I think that I'm so glad you brought that up because to me that's just such a huge thing. Like, and it goes back to respect, like you mentioned. You know what I mean? Like, just give credit. You know,
Yeah.
what's the big deal? Just give credit. Like, if you got something from somebody, just
Yeah.
give credit. It makes you, in my opinion, it makes you just look better too, because they're seeing you as being honest.
Exactly.
Right. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? You know, because they'll come around. You know what I mean? With the
It
internet
does.
technology, the world's getting smaller and smaller, so to speak. You
It
know,
does.
around.
It does.
What else you got? What else would you like to see?
Um, well, of course, from coming from basically from your end, that basically now should extend to others, respecting others. Okay. Um, Respecting others, um, in a sense that, of course, you have to give credit also to what they have um, basically uh, shown and shared to the whole FMA community. It's We have to get past that stage of my kung fu is better than your kung fu, or my style is better than your
Yeah,
style.
you know, like trying to bring the community together, which is
Together,
basically
okay?
the main reason
We
why, like, I'm doing this. It's like,
Yes,
you know,
and I do give you respect and appreciate what you're doing,
oh, thank you so much.
just as basically what Jack Latour is doing
He's
as well
doing,
with
isn't
the.
that fantastic too?
Yeah, that is yes.
Yeah, good on him. Yeah.
Yeah, it also helped me get through my COVID
Oh, I
quarantine
know,
experience.
everybody being stuck home and being like you have a bunch of the movie The Shining, huh?
Yeah, 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 and yeah. So, and um, part of developing or keeping the respect for your art
Mm,
is, of course, keep the stay with the tradition, but be relevant as well. Okay,
yeah,
try 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 to basically like work through what are the things that needs to evolve in your art, not
mm,
necessarily technique, but the way it should be taught, the way it should be developed.
yeah,
Okay, and one example that I can give there is my friend John, Master John. So
okay,
he has gone through a lot when he went to Israel, basically gone through a lot in developing the way he taught lightning scientific. It's the same with me. I had gone through some um, changes in teaching it
yeah,
because the way we learned it back in the Philippines is different. If I try to stick to it, it doesn't. It's not that it doesn't appeal, but it doesn't suit. Basically, it doesn't suit
mm,
the client here or the students here.
okay,
So you've got those changes, and like um, in the Philippines, when you just go through like, okay, this is the core, this is the what ifs. Sometimes because also of the language and the mindset, it's easier for us to understand each other. But if you come out, you need to have a certain degree of structure for some
yeah,
people to be able to understand the art. Okay, and of course, when you introduce a structure, it has to be in a way that it's not too complex.
yeah, where they
It
can't get it or right.
Exactly, because otherwise you're going to end up parrots.
Mm,
You've got like instructors that, okay, this is the drill, I'm doing the drill, I'm teaching the drill, but because it's too complex, they missed out, like for example, the application, the whys behind the drill.
oh,
Okay,
okay,
not everybody, but there are certain people. Okay,
Yeah.
part of my experience in part of my experience in all these years of teaching is being blessed with students who have different learning
Yeah.
abilities or learning capacities or uh, understanding. So we have to adapt to them if we want to be able to share the art effectively. We have to learn how to approach it in different ways.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Basically, you gotta evolve.
yeah,
I
you
mean,
have to.
you don't have to, but I mean, if you want to stay relevant and current, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, you have to. So I think that's it. And in last thing is, as a community, basically, because if instructors would start like giving that genuine respect to themselves and to everybody, I think it's going to make it easier for the community to come together.
Oh, I think so. I think you're onto
Yeah,
something there. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I
Yep.
mean, it, it's not easy, but it's something that we can strive for.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. Right, because if you see that, it's like anything else. If the top's doing it, you kind of get. But if the top's not
Goes
doing it, and then what you do is you get these students under these people that are not doing it, and they think that's way. Oh
yeah,
yeah, it's okay to bash them because that's what because yeah, it's just not good. I agree with
yeah.
you. It's got to start up top. Yeah,
It's yeah.
you know,
It has to, because
yeah.
otherwise, no matter how hard we try,
Mm.
it it might go into vain because the heads are not doing it basically.
No, no, it's well put. No, that was excellent. Thank you. That was some good stuff. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No, no. I want to thank you because man, we had to get you on a couple times and then the audio fell, but you stuck with it. So I appreciate you sticking with it.
Persistence.
You know? Yeah, A+ in persistence.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I appreciate you sticking with it. Some people would have just said, would have gotten frustrated and just wouldn't have been further bothered. But no, I want to thank you for coming back on, and I'm glad we did because it was well worth the wait. I mean, the demos, your explanation on the questions, I thought was very, very good, very fantastic.
Thank
Fantastic.
you. So I do hope that I managed to share um, quite a lot to our
Oh,
viewers.
between
Yeah.
the two episodes? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
It
yeah.
was
Oh yeah.
crammed.
No, 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 no. Oh yeah. So basically the same drill. I'm gonna download it. I'll post it to your wall, and all that. And yeah. But absolutely wonderful. I want to thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you for having me. Thank
And
you.
please,
It's a
thank your
pleasure,
son.
honor and pleasure.
All right. All right, Guro
All right.
Tom.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Take care.
Take care too.
Bye. All right, folks. August. Some big, big name. Well, I hate to say big names, but anyhow, this was coming down in August. Yuli Romo is one. Who else? I got. Where's my list here? We're gonna have a return of Monarch Nice with a couple of guys. What else? Multi Stockton. Okay, the guys out in Stockton, they're coming on very shortly. I'm gonna review. I'll let everybody know that, but that's gonna be coming up very, very soon. Again, Yuli Romo, Kirk McCune, from he was under the Heron system. He's coming on. I have to talk to Brian Rodriguez. He expressed interest, but just to there's more names, of course, for the month of August, but just to kind of give you a few that's coming up. But and Maestro Carlito, I'm finally going to get somebody on for Cabalas finally. So that is exciting because I've been dying to get somebody for that. And again, so a few Martinez guys. I might just do a whole week on Martinez. That's the plan anyhow. And then GM Yuli Romo. GM Master Kirk McCune. And who else I just mentioned here? On the multi-Stockton group, basically there's kind of like 3 systems within the system. So that's going to be very soon. So stay tuned. I'm going to be mentioning all that soon, as well as the dates and what have you. But yeah, it's going to be a big one next week. So thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit like and subscribe to FMA Discussion on YouTube. Take care, and thank you for watching and commenting all.